Well, good morning. I will take the rest of 4 minutes to 8 o'clock to allow the clock to tick over to that time, and then I get into the meat of this live this morning. It I send it out on most of the major platforms late last night. That this morning at 8 for an hour or so. This should be the place or the live to be watching. So as we ticks on to the hour 8, I'm gonna invite you to share this live around. Share it to your mama, share it to your papa, share it to your auntie, share it to your niece, share it to your friend, and share it to even your enemies. Everyone in your contact, and let them know we are about to unfold a very, very important discussion. Something that I think is unsetting the world. And I decided that I'm gonna be more vociferous on this topic. I'm gonna be more intense. I'm gonna be more radical on this topic to at least see if we can stem the tides of insensitivity, you know, war, crime, arrogance, ignorance, negativity, to see if we can at least stem the tide, right? And to find solution for the pollutions. I asked you this morning, we'll be on for the first hour, and depends on the support, we may go on to the second hour. If we cannot get through all through this hour, right, then we will restart the live and the second hour to get through as much as we want to get through, on to bring this story out to you, which I know a lot of you people may have have gone through. Here is the diagram, right? right, right. So it it entitles backward culture. Where does it derives from? The backward culture. Where is the root? It is 8 o'clock Jamaica time. So you are on Taichikos Live. You can free to comments, and if you do wish, you can send your request if you want to be a part of the discussion. But what is more important, I want you to be here. Right? I want you to be here. And what will stream live here, if you missed it, then it will be over on my YouTube channel, right? Reginald Martin 4915. right? So if you missed anything, you can go over back on my YouTube channel and you can pick up from what you missed of. This is a very important discussion. My name is Reginald Samuel Martin. Yes, a servant of the living God. One whose God has manifested himself to on several occasions. One that he used as a messenger. And so, as a messenger, I have to deliver the messages when he gave them unto me. If you want this live to continue over the hour, then support the first hour. And I'm quite sure TikTok will give us another hour on. So as much as you want, you can support and if you want to join in the comment section, please feel free to do so, or you want to be my co-host, right? You can also do so. Now, we are going to take the truth from a biblical perspective. We have been battling with all kind of unruly behaving children, and after examining it deeply, we realize that we are a bit unfair. We are a bit unfair to the children because some parents are also unruly. Some parents are not better than the children. And we will keep pressuring these children. And it appears as if we don't realize that children live what they learn. Right? So a lot of the things that we have seen happening in our schools is coming directly from home. So we have to tackle the problem from home, right? Home, we have to tackle the problem from. But a lot of people do not know how to tackle that problem, how to start. Because even though they are at home, they don't know the root of the problem. Because negativity becomes normal. Truth becomes a lie. Lie becomes truth. Front becomes back. Back becomes front. So the truth is, truth will be spoken to you here, and you say it's lie. Good becomes bad. Sad becomes glad. Mad becomes the things that you glorified. Right? Yes. So that's the truth in why the behavior pattern of the children, right, is like this. If you want, just bring your child. Just be clean to your children at home. Just be clean into everything at home, and you see their behavior pattern on the street. Oh my God, mighty God of Daniel. Just be clean. Just be pure. Just be right. Just be positive to your child at home. Right? When your child tell you that, mommy, the food bad, correct your child. Right? Correct your child. And said, no, son, no, my daughter, this food is not bad. This food is good. Right? This food is good. So you started to correct them as they stepped out of line. Right? Because once you supported them, they are gonna take it for gospel, for the norm, right? So when they said the food bad, right? That's back way talking, and that generate a level of backwardness in the atmosphere. So they would be umbrellaed under the umbrella of backwardness, negativeness. So they would see all of the negative to glorify them. Right? That is what is happening here today. Negativity is ruling the place, and the rulers of negativeness is bringing about destructiveness on the land. When you glorify negativity, you are glorifying destruction on the land. As easy as that. Right? So this morning, I want to go into the roots of backward thinking in Jamaica or in the world. Right? So there is a book that most people in the world treasured. Or a lot of people use that book, which is called the Bible. A lot of people would have something to do with the book called the Bible. As a matter of fact, there's hardly a home in the world that is without a Bible. Right? But the problem is not with reading, but with comprehension. To comprehend what they have read. Now, the first thing we got to learn to do in building a nation is to make sure at the foundation all is correct. Because if all is not correct at the foundation, you can surely look further down the road for the destruction. Right? And as we are seeing now, that a lot of these things were built up on falsehood, lies, hollygaries, right? And if you look and see the destruction around the world, right? It is because of bad teachment, backway teaching, right? Right? The backway syndromes is sweeping through, and it causing all kind of destruction at this point and time. Right? At this point and time, and a lot of you would know that at some point in your life, you wanted to go forward and a voice telling you to go back. You wanted to do good, a voice telling you to do bad. So till you don't want to be good again, me a bad boy, me a bad girl, right? You don't want to be good. You just fail to say the word good. Oh, that program there, good, you fail to say it is good. Our bad life, the brother they have, because you fail to say good. That means you hate the word good. It is as simple as that, right? Back way syndromes. Today, we are living in the world of robotism. And it has been taught to you as an alternative that robots is the alternative for the living man. Now come with me. Come with me. Come with me. We were taught that robots, right, is gonna take the place of human being, right? That a robot created or a robot were made, an invent. That a man invented or a man made or a man were created, right? So how on earth must a robot, right, a human being must suffer under the hands of a robot, right? And the reason why I go thus far is to outline to you the high house, the pinnacle of backway syndromes, where it is coming from. It is not coming from no ordinary feet, no ordinary place. So henceforth, you got to be on your double watch. Your IQ, your intellect has to be queued up there, or else you will normalize the backwardness of the universe. So instead of going forward, you are going backward, right? So you're gonna queue up in the atoms, right? Studied more meditation, right? More meditation. And not only gravitating, but learn to go to the root of things, right? Not being a yes man or a yes woman, but try to find out the roots of things and see if it match with nature's command. Look to see if that is matched with nature's command. Perilous times are here. Now, this is the perilous time. Now, where I want to go is in Genesis. Genesis chapter 30. Right? And we have the tendency of looking at our dear beloved children, right? I'm telling you about backwardness, and you call them kids. And in calling your children kids, how many of you are aware of the fact that you are demoralizing your children by calling your children kids? On the face of the earth, man has dominion over all things. Not animals have dominion over man. No, not so at all. Right? Not so one bit. Is man has dominion over the animal. And if you are going to call your child a kid, then you're automatically calling your child an animal. And you're going to label animals, animalistic attitude, right? Animalistic behavior, right? Animal don't use manners. Animal don't know values. Animal don't even know how to hype. Animal cannot build a house, right? Animal cannot sweep the yard, right? And the first thing you intend to do is to degrade your child in calling your child a kid. That is the first thing you do in calling your child a kid. But before that child even come on the face of the earth, you started to weaken the prospect of that child, right? And how does that happen? It happens by even the approach, because it takes two to tangle, right? Yes, it takes two to tangle. That means no woman independently cannot come and say, me I go bring a child. The male has to, and notice I said the male has to be there. Now we are not talking about artificial things now. We are not talking about injecting the sperm. We are talking about ejaculating, not injection of sperm, because that goes along with the artificial way of life, right? Right? So we are talking about the organic way of life, that the man and the woman coupled together, the male and the female coupled together to bring that life on earth. And it must done in good standing, good order, good attitude, right? And if from the beginning, the attitude is not right, then at the end, your works aren't going to be right. At the end, your works are not going to be right. Right? So, if first you desire Paul, and you did not desire Paul for whom Paul is, or if Paul desire Pauline or Paulette, and it is not for whom Paulette is, and you adjoin yourself, and in the interim, there comes the procreation. First, it is wrong. It is because Paul has a huge mansion, and Paul is the owner for all of the aircraft in the world, right? That is the sole reason While you joined yourself, right? That is the sole reason. It's not that your heart skip a beat when you remember Paul. But when you remember Paul's achievement and his status, right? Right? That's when your heart skip a beat. And you started to procreate with someone whom you doesn't have a genuine love for. But you love the fact that Paul owns all of the aircraft in the world. Right? Right? But Paul of himself is ill manners. Paul of himself is disrespectful. Paul of himself is insanitary. But because Paul of himself is insensitive, but the mere fact that Paul has a quantum of things, right? You black your eye, you cock your nose, right? You do everything in the negative while procreating, right? And when you conceive with a child in that mindset, then you will saw it in the fruits of the child. It is not something that you're going to see on the child. You may saw the resemblance on the child of his father or his mother. But one thing you ain't gonna see, right? The inner man of the parents on the child. Because that is something that that child will have to act out for you to see. Right? So, yes, your child will be pretty, your child will be beautiful, your child will be handsome. But as soon as the brain started to mature and started to develop, the real child, the real material that makes the child started to show up. And all because it wasn't the real meaning of love. You started to get your children them on. At the end of it all, when they grow up, is trouble, problem, shame, disgrace on the land. Because one, you did not fix your attitude right. You did not value yourself right. Right? So, in procreating, you have sent off and absorbed all of the bad things in that sexual exchange. Yes. And that's the problem we are having today. So we want to be like Jacob. It is 26 minutes after 8. We want to take it further beyond the hour. but this life have to be supported by you. So if you appreciate what you're hearing or what Tychicus the Revelator is doing, you just need to support the life so that it can prolong. If you disagree with what I am saying, don't support the life and let it cut off, because you don't want to hear that. But if you want to hear more, support the live in the first hour so that we can go on for even another hour or half an hour learning this deep truth. Do something to help the coming generation. All right? Now, you have different versions of the Bible. Right? Washi. Saw you. You have different, dear Howard Coley, we saw you. Andrew Wills, we saw you. Right? Bujo, we saw you. Right? Joe Kato? Yeah. Jakato, we saw you. Now, we have many different versions of the Bible. And what turns off most people from the Bible and deem it and demonize it is because some of these Bibles were translated in jumbles and puzzles, right? So they're not readily understood what they have said. So if you notice, I have a King James version, and I also have a Deuteronomical Apocrypha. Now, I will read the same thing from the King James, and I will read the same things from the Apocrypha. And you tell me which of them you overs most and readily comprehend. Now, let me fix up here so first, so you can have, while we are reading, right, you have this on your mind as your benchmark, right? One of the problem today is how we started to get our children. First, the most common way of sexual transfusion is the position that the female turned their back to the male, right? And it is the same way animals procreate. So there leaves no distinction between animal and human, right? Right? While everything has their own order, right? I said to you before, the children have kids, the donkey has cub. The human being have children, the donkey has cubs, right? The goat have kids, right? So there's a distinction between, you cannot call children kids and kids children, right? Right? So in procreating means positive vibration. You have to be concentrating on what you are doing in procreating, in making babies, right? You cannot make no mistake. You got to be sober. You got to be true to yourself. The reason why you're in there is because you love the owner. You really and truly, genuinely, not the material part of the individual, but the individual in him or herself. That's why you're joining together. Animal don't have to love their one another. Animals don't have to love their one another. But human being must love their one another. Human being must set a standard And if you're not setting that standard, you're lowering the quality of humanity when you take on the action of the animals in procreating. Right? Yes? Yes? So, what do we do then? Continue as human beings to get our children without the eye contact, the 4-eye contacting, right? Are we still gonna get our children with the male looking down in your neck back? Do you have 2 eyes in your neck back? Right? Do you have 2 eyes around here? Right? In conceiving, you are to be readily bring the focus of the lens of your eyes to your partner, right? That's where the truth of the reason you are together at the moment to build someone identical as me. That means if a rogue, a gunman, a known whatever negative person is inside of you, or you are inside of that negative person, that's what you're going to absorb on yourself. And in procreation is the same negativeness, right? In ejaculation. And that substance filled with the individual. Nobody like what I said. I like it. I like what I've said, but nobody like it. Nobody like what I've said. Because Tychicus is here telling a big lie upon the people. Tychicus is here making pure trouble. Him don't deserve a gift. Him don't deserve a comment. Him don't deserve a likes. Pure lie, Mattel. Wow. What a world. What a world are we in today? Oh, I want to see the one that who is going to put a ackee seed in the ground and get a mango tree. I want to see the one who's going to do that. Right? You plant a ackee seed in the ground and get a mango tree. Right? When you have done that, please take that plant to me. Right? When you have done that, please take that plant to me. Right? So I don't understand how you want to conceive in a backward position and expect to bring a child that is forward and forthright. I cannot see 1 second. Right? It's like buying it's like purchasing a lady of the night. Yes? And she confronts you, 30,000. She did not turn her back. But when you're receiving the goods, it's back where you have to take it. It's back where you are getting it. Now, tell me if all those are right, if all those are balanced, why didn't you take the money back way? And it's simple. The reason I want to see if the money right. Right? I want to see if the money is right. And that's the reason why I'm not going to take it back way. Not going to accept it, the money back way. But you will certainly accept the pleasure of sex back way. And we all learned, we all knew that if I'm speaking to you and you turn your back, that is insult. If I walked away, if the soldier fire a shot while the person turned his back, you're going to be court-martial, right? So why only in sex insult is prohibited? Insult is accepted, right? That insult is accepted. Something must have gone wrong. Why only in Almighty God? I'm reading from the King James Version, and I'm reading from Genesis 30, and I'm going to read this from verse 37 to 43. Please bear with me. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white stalks in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before, notice, not behind, before the flocks, in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should have conceived when they came to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cackles, ring-stalked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the face of the flocks towards the ring-stalked, and all said, where was it? And he set the rod, where was it? And on the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-stalked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the face of the flocks towards the ring-stalked, and all the brown in the flat of Lebanon. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass that whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in, so that the feebler were Laban, and the stronger were Jacob. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maid servant, and men servant, and camels, and asses. What do you make of that? I don't think you make much. I'm going to make you make much. From reading now, the same thing from the Deuteronicals Apocrypha, from verse 37. Listen this. Jacob got green branches of popular almond and plane trees and stripped off some of the bark so that the branches had white stripes on them. He placed these branches in front of the flocks at their drinking troughs. He put them there because the animals mate when they came to drink. So when the goats are bred in front of the branches, they produce young that were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Now, clearly, right? This is teaching you focusism. Focusism. What you focus on, even the animals, right? To catch the breed of the speckled animal, God in his wisdom had put in Jacob and said to Jacob, get the almond tree, strip the bark, and let a piece of the white peeped out, right? And a piece of the brown right around, and you will have a speckled trunk or branch. And when the cattle are drinking, they mated from behind. So both the receiver and the giver of the animal would have been focusing on that spotted trunk, right? Yes? Both the receiver, which is the rammy, and the yoke, right? Both would have been focusing on the spotted trunk. For what reason? The reason of catching the breed of spotted animal. So it is focusism, right? What you focus on when you conceive, that is the type of child you're going to bring on the face of the earth with no apology, right? That is the type of children you're going to bring on the face of the earth. Now, can I go on? Right? Jacob kept the sheep separate from the goats and made them face in the direction of the streak and black animals of Laban's flock. In this way, he built up his own flock and kept it apart from Laban's. So although Laban was unfair to Jacob, I didn't read that part because I know a lot of you know the story, right? right? But God in his wisdom had turned up the wisdom in Jacob and said to Jacob, get the almond tree, use a machete and chip it and make it speckled. Throw the branch at the drinking trough. And when they come to drink, right, they will be focusing on the speckled tree and they will get a speckled goat, a speckled offspring, right? So how you are gonna, as human being, right, want to plant orange and get corn? How you want to focus on orange, right? How you're going to focus? The man you are mating with is a bad man. how you expect to get a good child? The man you are mating with is afraid, you're afraid of him while you are mating. The man you are mating with is because he has a lot of material values. You don't even know where you get it from. Sometimes you don't even know his name. Sometimes there is no interview before intercourse. It's after intercourse. You say, what you did name again? And which part you work again? Right? That time, the substances have already done the job, and a breed of that individual has catch in you. Right? Yeah? Yes. I like what I said. Nobody like it. So I make sure you understand by reading from both the King James version that you treasured, and the Deuteronicals apocryphals, that most because religions and jealousy, and in some instance you have certain religions who don't want the truth to go out. So they would have demonized the Deuteronicals Apocrypha because they had broken down the things so simple for you to overs. But a lot of you do not really and truly want to overs this, because as the walls of Jerusalem were torn apart, and Nehemiah take time out to go and rebuild it, and Sanballat and Tobias, who are benefiting from the broken walls, did not want Nehemiah and his troops to build back the walls of Jerusalem. I'm in Jamaica, right? The morals of the people are damaged. And the leaders do not want the morals of the people to rebuild. Because if the morals of the people will rebuild, there will be much more unity amongst the people, right? Right? If the people are properly educated, they would be stronger than the 62 of them in parliament. Right? So they are not inclined, right, for us to be united, right? Yes, unique one. They are not inclined for us to learn the deep truth. There has a truth that they call deep truth. What they call it? What they call it? Secret society. That secret society. They doesn't want us to get into the secret society. And what is locked away in the secret society is the damn truth. Is the truth that is hidden in the secret society. Right? That's why them alone and them friend can go behind and are privileged to go into that society. And if they are not sure that you will able to keep your mouth, or if you are able to go and mislead the people, right, you can't go in there, right? Them have to build up certain trust in you, right? You have, I like me could have never get into the secret society, but I'm so happy that the God I serve have bisected me from the secret society. When I leave school, I couldn't even read. I couldn't even write. Right? I didn't have the money to go to school. And God said, you have to learn. I am going to teach you. I'm going to allow the universe to teach you. And the universe teaches me. And that's because I weren't taught by human beings. I'm able to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the way you get your children using these 4 backward positions: cock up, doggy style, back shot, and head top. Those are the position that causing the problem here now on earth. Back way mating, back way thinking, right? That's what causing the problem here now. What, including climate change, global warming, this down to the school children fussing against their one another, right? That's what causing the problem. Because majority, don't get me wrong, I did not say all, majority children today conceive in those four unfocused position. Cock up, no eye contact, doggy style, no eye contact, head top, no eye contact, back shot, no eye contact, no focusism. So it makes it difficult for you to seal and conceal with that spiritual lens. And that is exactly what they did want, just as how in earlier times they did not want the male to survive. You don't remember them time that that's how Moses reaching at the river Nile, right? That's how Moses reached in the river Nile. Thank God, Mrs. some man a walk and a put pebbles, destructive thing into the female. I want to tell you this morning, in this hour, right? Respect the woman. Because the woman were given the chance in Exodus 1, Shipara and Puah, to kill us from with a male, right? Kill them from with a male, and thank God for Shipara and Puah. Hold on. I don't think everybody understand what I'm saying here. All right? I don't think everybody understand, right? Let me try to make them understand this deep truth, right? Right? Wow. Then a new king who knew nothing about Joseph came to power in Egypt. He said to his people, "These Israelites are so numerous and strong that they are a threat to us. In case of a war, they might join our enemies in order to fight against us and might escape from the country. We must find some way to keep them from becoming even more numerous." So this is where birth control started. So the Egyptians put slave drivers over them to crush their spirit with hard labor, right? The Israelites built the cities of Pithom and Ramesses to serve as supply centers for the king. But the more the Egyptians oppressed the Israelites, the more they increased in numbers, and the further they spread through the land. The Egyptians came to fear the Israelites and made their lives miserable by forcing them into cruel slavery. They made them work under their building projects and in their fields, and they had no pity on them. Then the king of Egypt spoke to Shipara and Puah, the two midwives who helped the Hebrew women give birth. He said to them, "Kill the baby if it is a boy, but if it is a girl, let it live." But the midwives were God-fearing, so they did not obey the king. Instead, they let the boys live. So the king sent for the midwife and asked them, "Why are you doing this? Why are you letting the boys live?" And they answered and said, "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They give birth easily, and their babies are born before either of us could get there." Swing them wide, right? Swing them wide. And that is the reason why we here today, procreation continues. Because they simply never want the boys. Because as long as there was no boys, the girls could not get impregnated. Right? Right? And after that, Moses were born in that region, and he has to end up, yeah, now for how many weeks the mother of Moses had to hidden him, right? Until when she couldn't hidden him anymore, she had to put her out in the sea. And he started to drift, and he was discovered by his own relatives. God moved in a mysterious way with wonders to perform. That's why life is here on earth. And if we want to run it down to Noah and the flood with Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? And Noah himself, and a pair of every animals were placed in the ark, and they were placed there for the replenishment of earth, to replace earth with life. And the only way you can do it is through sexual transfusion, right? I thank you all for this morning, and you will hear from time to time more of these profound teachings, right? And Tychicus laugh and learn. Remember, take note of your position. This will be posted back on YouTube so you can revisit it. Reginald Martin 50, not 49:15, please. And share it. Tell your mama, tell your papa, tell your auntie, tell your niece, tell your friend. We want to be a part of nation building, the 2030, the 2040 vision. We don't want any child call. I don't want no parents calling their children kids. And I don't want no child talking about the food bad. No, this bad when it is good. I want you to send up more goodness in the atmosphere. Right? I don't want no children to address them friend. What bad man? I don't want no girls. I call them peers brother. No, we don't want those things. We don't want anyone to be preaching fully dunce. I want them to be teaching fully bright. We are going to change the things. Robot is not the answer. It's we has to change ourselves and end the problem. The official intelligence must stand predominate. Tychicus is out. Check me out on another live.